Okay, so when you think of Antarctica, what comes to mind, right? Probably this vast, silent, frozen world. I mean, it's the coldest, most isolated continent on Earth, a place where almost 90% of the world's fresh water is just locked away. But here's the thing, that's just the surface story. What's really fascinating is what we're starting to discover miles beneath all that ice.
Because that really is the question, isn't it? What is actually down there? What scientists have been uncovering in the last few decades has totally shattered our old ideas about this continent. And some of them think we've barely even scratched the surface.
You see, far from being just some simple, frozen block of land, Antarctica is hiding a whole secret world. We're talking about huge mountain ranges and powerful rivers all under the ice. But maybe the craziest discoveries are the active volcanoes, creating scenes just like this, and this incredible network of over 400 hidden subglacial lakes.
So let's dig into that first discovery, this unbelievable hidden landscape. You have to understand, this isn't just a few puddles we're talking about. It's a massive, interconnected system of water that exists in a world of absolute, total darkness. Think about that number for a second. Over 400. And these aren't ponds. We're talking about entire lakes. And some of them are huge. They're buried under nearly 2 miles of solid ice, forming this hidden world of water. I mean, that discovery alone forces us to completely rethink what a continent defined by ice even is. And the absolute crown jewel of this hidden water world has to be Lake Vostok. It's one of the largest and definitely the most famous of these secret lakes. This is a body of water that has been completely sealed off from our world for more than 15 million years. It's like a perfect time capsule, totally untouched by modern air or even sunlight.
And what happened when we finally drilled down there? Well, the results were just astounding. When scientists finally managed to get a sample from the lake, they found life, actual microbes that have not only survived, but have been thriving in these extreme, high-pressure, totally dark conditions. This is a huge discovery for understanding life on Earth, and it's even giving astrobiologists hope for finding life on icy moons out there, like on Jupiter and Saturn.
Okay, so let's move to our next piece of the puzzle. Because it's not just a world of hidden water. Nope. Beneath the ice, Antarctica is very, very much alive with geologic fire. The common idea is that Antarctica is just this dead, frozen wasteland, right? Well, the scientific reality couldn't be more different. Underneath all that ice, it is a dynamic, geologically active continent.
In fact, scientists have now found over 100 volcanoes hidden underneath the West Antarctic ice sheet. Now, to put that in perspective, this is one of the largest volcanic regions on the entire planet, and we didn't even know it existed until pretty recently. And the crucial part, many of them are believed to be active.
So the really critical point here is the risk this whole thing poses. A major eruption wouldn't just be some local event. It could literally melt the gigantic ice sheet from the bottom up, which could have absolutely catastrophic consequences for global sea levels. It's this hidden threat with very real worldwide implications.
But you know, these secrets aren't just for scientists to geek out on. They have real-world stakes. And that's why Antarctica has quietly become the stage for a very intense geopolitical game. So officially, the continent is governed by the Antarctic Treaty, which was signed way back in 1959. The rules are pretty clear. It's a place for peaceful science, no military activity is allowed, and absolutely no mining or digging for resources. It's supposed to be a continent for all of humanity. But here's the tension, because underneath all that protected ice lies an incredible amount of potential resources. We're talking about potentially huge deposits of oil and natural gas, rare and strategic minerals, and of course, those massive, untouched freshwater reserves.
And so, while the treaty is still in place, you have major world powers like the United States, China, and Russia all steadily increasing their footprint on the continent. The official reason is always scientific research, but a lot of experts believe they're just getting into position for a future where that treaty might be challenged. It's about securing access, sure, but it's also about projecting power on the world's last unclaimed frontier.
So what could actually trigger that future? Well, a force that's already reshaping our entire planet, the Great Thaw. Yeah, climate change is the key that could unlock all of Antarctica's final secrets.
So you might be wondering, why do we already know everything that's down there? Well, the challenges are just immense. The ice is way too thick for most satellites to see through, drilling down is incredibly hard, and it's super restricted. And oh yeah, the weather is the most extreme on Earth, which makes any kind of large-scale exploration basically impossible. But climate change is changing that whole equation. The ice is melting, and it's melting at a faster and faster rate. Now, this isn't just about rising sea levels anymore. It's about the very real chance that new land, new ecosystems, and yeah, those valuable resources could all be exposed for the first time in millions of years.
And this brings us to the most critical question of all. It's not just about what is hidden there anymore. The real question we have to ask is what happens to all of us when it finally becomes accessible?
You know, humanity is going to face a very clear choice. Is Antarctica going to become a new frontier for peaceful international cooperation, a symbol of scientific discovery that benefits everyone? Or is it going to become the world's next great battleground, a frozen conflict zone in a global scramble for resources?
So while Antarctica might look silent and unchanging from the outside, we now know it is anything but. Beneath the ice, a whole story of hidden worlds, immense power, and geopolitical tension is unfolding right now. And it leaves us with this final, really profound thought. Maybe the greatest mystery isn't what we've already discovered, but everything we have yet to find.